What's going on, guys and girls? Today we're just going to do a quick little video explaining a few features and settings for the for the Verso boards. We've started to offer installed versions of these, and I think we're going to expand on the lineup going forward. So this is something that, if you want to just change some blade colors and just a few of the settings, this guide will sort of get you out of trouble. So as you can see here, here's just a Graflex that I've installed with the Verso. Just turn it on. So you can change all the fonts. You don't have to use the default fonts. Depending on what font package you buy, Jesse has an actual Verso version now with all these different fonts. So you can just copy them over and add them all on. If you've got existing fonts, the Profi fonts and I believe the CFX fonts will work for it as well. You just need to rename them and then make sure that how it is on the SD card is how it is when you rename them. So basically you just want to make sure that you name your Profi or CFX the same as what they are for Verso, not the other way around. So this is just a basic setup here that we've got. So I'm just going to show you the activation. So this is just the normal blue. So this is going to be our base, and then I'm going to show you how you go in and change them. So you can have 8 different colors for Verso. So I'll just turn this off and I'll whack the SD card into the computer. So this is just a site that you want to use. So it's just an RGB color site. So it'll just allow you to pick different colors. You can color mix them as well. You need it to be able to show the decimal value because on the actual SD card, for the way that the Verso config file works, it uses decimal for the RGB values. So this is what you're going to see on the SD card. So these are going to come, obviously, if you buy them installed or whatnot. This is how they're going to be. You can download the font packages and the different config files from KR Saber's site. So it's just the Saber Armory. If I can spell. And then you just want to go to soundboards and then Verso, and he's got the latest manual, so this will show you how to wire it up if you want to do it yourself. The latest firmware can be downloaded here. One thing to note with the firmware, you can't revert firmware, so I don't believe this is the beta firmware. I think this is the actual stable firmware. He does offer beta firmware, but obviously, if you put it on and there's issues, you take that on yourself as being a beta tester. But I believe this is the latest stable firmware, so you're good to go. Here you can download the default config files for the Tricree setup, and then the default config file for the pixel strip setups. And then here again you've got the SD packages. So this is going to have all your fonts and everything for the base font for Tricree and your NeoPixel. Alright, so if we go back into here, so these are obviously all of your different font files. The boot, which is what we heard, is what I changed.
Inside me is.
So I just changed this one. I don't believe I went through and changed any of the clash settings or anything like that. I just wanted to change the boot. The default is excellent. Jesse did a good job on that. So you can just go through and change all these. So, if you do have a Profi or CFX, all you need to do is just change, rename your Profi and CFX to what these are, not the other way around. So don't rename these ones or copy these ones over or copy the Profi ones over, because they won't add them. They'll just it won't rename them. It will just add them into the thing and it won't work. So you just have issues. So this is the config file. So put it in a window. So here obviously you got your blade type. So this is set up as a pixel. It's got the strip type, which is your default strip types. Your pixel count, so your normal LED strips of 1 meter that you buy, the flexible strips are going to be 144. Cal's new strips are 264, so they're not quite double. So if you are going to make a KR pixel blade, you just want to change this to 264. Otherwise, it'll only light up half the blade. Then you've got your standby, so this is just your standby timing. Mute mode, so if you hold down the activation button before activating, it will go into mute mode. You can set your retraction time. Double click speed, so double click will change the cycle through the blade colors. Volume control obviously is here. It goes up by 1 increments, so like it'll be 3 or 4. Button blink, not too sure what that is. Low battery threshold is obviously if it dips below 3.1 volts, it's going to say, hey, I think it says crystal core unstable for the battery. And then obviously, these are just related to this, the battery things. And this is your emergency voltage, so it will shut off before it dips below this to make sure the battery's all good. Not too sure what the emergency timer is, and clash sensitivity is obviously clash sensitivity. Then you got your fonts here, so you don't really want to change any of this. I don't think you actually. I think you. So I ran into an issue the other day. So if you do get some boot files from Profi, they might not work. So you have to edit it. So I just edit it with it's a free tool called OCEN Audio, OCEN Audio. And one of the boot sounds that I tried to do on an MPP, it was 22500 frequency, and it didn't work. So I don't know if you change this to 22500 if it will work, but then all the rest of the fonts won't work. But just make sure it's 44100. Then you've got your boot counts, clash counts, on counts, off counts, swing counts, all that sort of stuff. Then you've got all your smooth string related stuff, your thresholds. Just leave this all in default. Because again, if you're buying fonts, from someone like Jesse, they're already made for these timings, so that's not something that you need to worry about. But this is what we want to change, all down here. So last color is basically when you turn it on and you cycle through the colors, when you turn it off, it will remember what color it is when you turn it back on. So if you want to get rid of that, just change this to 0 and it'll go. Ignition time is obviously how long it takes for the strips to light up. And then retraction time is the same. It's how long it takes to suck in. Clash type is obviously flash, so when you clash it, it's going to flash. Clash frequency, you can change all these to make it quicker or slower. Flash color, 255, 255, 255 as default is white, so you can change a different clash color. So if you wanted to, say you're making a Vader, and you wanted to have an orange flash, you would just find orange, which is 255 1280, and then you add that into there, and then it will make all your flashes orange. Flicker type random, so it's just gonna it will have a little bit of a flicker, sort of like a hum flicker on a Profi. Flicker range, not too sure what they do. Again, you can change them and play with it, and the same with the frequency. So these are your flicker color is your blade color. So you have 9, but I believe I'm not sure, the old firmware, once it got to 8, it changed, something happened where it got locked at 8. So I think this is why the 9 colors in here. So I'm pretty sure it only still has 8 colors. So here is your flicker color. So I've got this set to blue. So again, you just go to any I just googled RGB decimal, and it's going to come up with all the different charts. These are your base colors. So say you wanted to make a Vader, obviously we can do that. So it's going to be 25500. So we're going to have this as 25500. So we'll save that, and we'll just whack this in so you can see. If I can put it in, that's what she said.
Something inside me has always been there, but now it's awake.
And now it's red. So that's how you would do it for that. And again, you can go through and change. You can mix the colors. So if you wanted to make I don't know, like a pinkish sort of blade, just bear in mind with the strips, they're not what you see here. So you know, if you look at this and go, I want to make a deep purple, it's not going to be as it is on the color chart. It'll be lighter, and it's just inherent problem with the pixels. At least with the flexible strips, they don't have the same color range as, you know, what's on here. They'll get close though. So you know, you can in colors. So you know, you like your Lukes, you can change here. You can have the different color greens. Obviously, all your Vader colors. You know, you want to come through and change all those. You can have, you know, if you're making an Ahsoka, you can have the white. If you're making Clone Wars Ahsoka, you know, Season 7 will be blues, and then the other ones will be you sort of lime green and green. So all the canon colors you can make and make them very successfully. And then obviously, you know, if you want to start getting on fringe colors or you know, like Old Republic colors, they're more like your yellows and your golds, and you know, like the Ray, if you wanted to make a Ray saber, which we've got coming later in the year, you know, that's a sort of goldy, yellowy sort of color. So you can make that. So let's make that one actually. So we'll turn it off, and then we'll plug this back in. So what we'll do is the first one, we'll leave it as red, and then we'll change the second one. So the second blade color will be the goldy color. So we'll have a I don't know, let's try one from here. So sorry if it's loud outside, that's my pet transformer. So it kicks in every now and again. So let's try this. So we'll go 245, 229, 91. So we'll go to the second one. So we'll go 245. Oh, what did I say it was? 245, 229, 91. 225. Oh man. 229, 91. Okay, we'll save that. And we'll put this back in. Turn him on.
Something inside me has always been there, but now it's awake.
Yes. Alright, so this is obviously the red. So we changed the second one, the second blade color, you know, to which is this goldy sort of color, which is going to be your second. So to cycle through the blades, you just double tap. So this is the yellow blade that we just made. So this is the second one, and then the third one is 00255, which I think that's blue. Yep, and then, you know, whatever these ones are, we'll go through. So there's a purple, or a pink and a purple, red, cyan. So this would be your, you know, EP4 Graflexes, and this is just another yellow that's on there. White, so again would be your Ahsokas. Red, and that's the beginning. So that's just you know, a quick little way of showing you how to go through and change the colors of the blades. It's super simple. You know, that's one of the best things about the Versos. It was made specifically in mind for someone that wants to, you know, get into the hobby. They're very easy to wire up, and you know, a lot of people don't want all the fanciness, you know, like what the Profis would show. So you know, Profis is obviously next level with the stuff that you can do is crazy. Verso was designed basically to take up the slack of the old Nano Biscottis. So Nano Biscottis on steroids, essentially. You know, so it has all the smooth swing functionality, which is excellent and, you know, more realistic. Then you've got your 8 colors that you can put on there. The new firmware that's coming out, which is in beta at the moment, adds 2-button mode. So, you know, if you want to do it, it also adds blaster blocks. So it's something that's continuously going to be upgraded, and that's something that Cal is, you know, committed to adding new feature sets to it. So it's going to just get to sort of the next level. And the best thing about it is you know, if you buy one of the Verso ones from Corbanth, or you know, if you want me to do an install on them. Basically, when you get it, if there's, you know, Cal, generally if you follow Cal on Facebook, KR Sabers on Facebook, he will let you know when there's a new beta, and then he normally does a live video telling you all the, you know, the new features that are added, and some of the stuff that's coming up is, you know, it's phenomenal, especially for the price of the board. You know, it's a lot cheaper. It's, like I said, it's an entry-level board with big features, and yeah, it's you can do it all yourself. So no programming knowledge needed. You know, you don't have to mess around with any of this stuff. Like, you just leave all of it. The only thing, again, like I said, you would need to change is if you know, if you are going to make your own KR pixel, you just need to change the pixel count. You know, if you were buying it from us and you wanted to get a KR pixel blade, all this would be already done for you, and on the SD card. And then if you want to upgrade it, you just go to KR site, download the new firmware. All you do with that is you just drop the firmware into the root of the SD card, plug it into the Saber. It'll come up and say Crystal Core rebooting. That's basically loading the firmware, and then it will say Crystal Core finished or initialized or something, and then you're good, and then you're upgraded, and then you've unlocked all the features. So that's one of the best things about this. You know, it's super simple to program. Well, you know, if this is programming, and yeah, you just don't have to mess around with any of it, apart from changing your blade colors. So that's it. It's just you know, like a quick video, which always turns into a long video because I waffle about the Verso, just the different settings that you can go through and change it. Yeah, I'll do another one, a follow-up video to this when the new firmware comes out of beta, and I'll show you how to do the upgrade. So I've kept this one specifically on the old firmware, and the new firmware is in beta at the moment. So once that's live, I'll do a follow-up video just showing how to upgrade again. So, you know, like we're working on MPPs and Graflexes. We just had our sale for the pre-sale, so all the MPPs are done. I'm working on Graflex this week, so this week, next week. So the Verso Graflexes that were bought last week and the MPPs that were bought last week, real soon. So they're going to be on the old firmware, and then when the new firmware comes, again, I'll show a video, and then, you know, when you get it, and if you want to upgrade to it, you can just follow the tutorial. Super simple, nothing you can really stuff up, and then, you know, you'll be on the new firmware with I believe like I said, the next firmware is, I think it's opening up blaster blocks, and something else. There's something else on there. So yeah, so, you know, it'll be a new feature unlock, and I'll make a video showing you how to do the upgrades. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. You can hit me up on Facebook as well. Now I actually installed the Pages Manager, so it actually notifies me when I get messages through there, so it never used to for some stupid reason. So yeah, you can hit me up in there, hit me up on Facebook, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.